Welcome back, guys. This is George from StreetCulture.US, and what are we doing now? Well, in our last video, we covered this rear differential bushing install using the Z1 Motorsports tools for installation as well as extraction. Now that we have the differential transferring power to the wheels and stiffened up, when this awesome differential bushing set is installed with the differential, this is going to torque big time, putting a lot of stress on our subframe assembly. So thankfully, there are a couple options you can do to get rid of all that extra torque from transferring from here, because it's all stiffened up, to your subframe and the bushings that are going to be suffering. So Z1 Motorsports makes this awesome collar kit, and it comes in a 8 set, and literally for the inside here you have rubber bushings OEM installed that the Z1 kit has, I guess you say, coupled itself to, and it slides in like that, and then you bolt your bolts through, and this is supposed to stiffen up your rubber bushings so that they barely move. Now, I was originally going to go with this application for this car, but after thinking about it, we all know that rubber bushings don't last very long. 5 to 7 years, maybe 9 if you're lucky, but if you're in the desert, it's going to dry out pretty quick and they're going to crack, especially under what we like to call, if you're an automotive enthusiast, spirited driving. All right, on the torque, off the torque, on the throttle, off the throttle, in the corners, at a track, or just being up in the mountains with your friends. So rather than take this down and repair it again in, say, 4 or 5 more years, I would have to remove these and then either get a new subframe from Nissan, which is like $1,300 with the bushings that are rubber, and we start the whole process over again, 5 to 7 years, and have to replace it. Or even with these collars, they'll go bad. You have another option, and that is to replace the rubber bushings with polyurethane. So we did actually order a set from White Line, and I didn't really care for them because they had gaps in there, which allowed for too much flex, especially under a torque for this car. So got a hold of Concept Z, and they sent us this kit from Energy Suspension. Energy Suspension has been a leader in the game for well over 15 to 20 years, and I've had it on cars that are both muscle car, import tuner, etc. alike, and they never seem to fail. So this kit is pretty simple. You have your inner sleeve, and then you have your 2 bushings, and they slide together like so. This bushing you do not have to put into the freezer. It was very easy for me on my own to just go ahead and slide it in top and bottom, and then I slid the inner sleeve inside the bushings. Now, take note that the Energy bushing kit does not include the polyurethane bushing grease, which you will have to order separately. On the White Line kit, the only thing I really did like about the White Line kit is that it had that bushing grease already with 2 little packets ready to go. Do I think it was enough? Absolutely not. Remember when you install this to be very liberal when using it, and it makes the whole process go a lot easier, as well as provides years of lubrication for the bushings and tons of fun for you. So we all know that torque and horsepower translate to smiles. So, all right. So as you can see, I've already done both the front and the rear on this side, just to kind of show you what this finished product looks like. You can see the sleeve is in there. You have the upper top of the bushing here, and the bottom of the bushing right here, which is actually a little thicker. So what I did was I went ahead and I applied the lubricant, and then what I did is I pushed the top part in with my hand. It slid in just nice, and the bottom, very easy, and I left the sleeve for the end. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm not just going to show you these 2 installed. I'm actually going to show you how to apply it and put it together on this other side. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab me a set of these gloves, so that way I don't get my hands all filled with awesome bushing grease. So let's see here. I'm gonna put this, here's my stand. I'm gonna put this stand, put you guys right here in this stand so I can show you how to do this side. So first thing I'm going to do is put my gloves on, okay? I like wearing gloves. For years I didn't wear gloves when I was working on cars. Oil and all these other things get on your skin and your hands, they absorb, and it's very carcinogenic. So I highly suggest that you wear gloves. All right, let's make sure, camera view, perfect. All right, so here's how I normally do it. I just go ahead and grab a little bit of the bushing grease and I just apply it and I rub it around in there. Try to make sure you get in all the areas. That way it is fully lubricated. So here's about what I like to start with. And I just kind of do that. I blop it on the inside and I grab another side and or a little bit for the other side. And I just kind of go back and forth like so. And I just kind of smear it all on the inside there. And I'll even go in through the bottom here to kind of make sure that this is just fully gooped up really nicely. When you put the bushing in, it's going to press everything to the center anyway, and it'll sit there for years. And it'll actually, with movement, very little movement, but with the very little movement in there, it will push it around and keep your bushings lubricated. So I just went ahead and did it on this side. Now let's see, I'm going to go right over here to this bushing hole and turn the camera just a little bit there. There we go. And I'm going to do the same thing right here. Take a nice big blop and kind of move it around in there. You can clean up the goop afterwards at the end using a microfiber towel or whatever you want to use. I think the microfiber is probably the way to go. So just go ahead and I put this in there like so. I move it around, and like I said, I'm being very liberal with the application of this grease, this bushing lube. And you can see I have a whole bunch left over on my fingers here. And I'm just gonna take one more peek in here to make sure we're fully covered. Looks like we're good to go there. I'm gonna set this aside and I'm gonna pop this glove inside out like so and just fold it in on the inside like this. And look at that, no grease. All right, is it wasteful? Yeah, but I don't have anything on my hands, so that's more important to me. I've already been through the whole cancer thing one time and I'm not looking to keep going with that. So that being in place, it does take a little bit of muscle to put the inner part in, and I'm going to show you what's up here. So, all right, this is where it gets to be a little tricky. Just kind of do this, and you want to flat press on there. There we go, till it's nice and flush with the outer wall. And then what you do, you pull the inner side out like this inner sleeve. And then what you do is you take the bottom and you do the same thing, pushing from bottom to top. There you go. And now the bushing is completely in. Now we're going to do one more thing with the bushing grease. Do you have to do this? No. Do you want to do it? I highly suggest it. You just do a quick little bit on the inside there, kind of move it all around. This is going to help to make your inner sleeve of this three-piece bushing go together nice and easy. Do that on the inside. There we go. Let's get that all lubricated all up in there. All right. So yeah, now we're fully lubricated, and you can go ahead and take the inner sleeve and you're gonna push down like so. There you go. And you do a little bit of pressure in there. There we go. And you want to push it all the way down, guys, until it's pretty, there we go, pretty level with the actual bushing, and that's it right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the front one. Doing the same thing, we're going to do the same thing right over here, which I'm going to turn the camera just a little bit. Oops, sorry about the movement there, guys, but I'm not using my hand, I'm actually using my feet. And if you're not sure on this bushing, they're both the same pieces. On that back bushing over there, the top was a little thinner than the bottom, but luckily for us, Energy Suspension provides us this awesome diagram. And as you can see, it is numbered. There we go. So you can't mess this up, guys. It's pretty easy. It's a no-brainer. So on this front piece here, the bottom is 481. That's when you go to this piece here and you look, and it'll be right there. I don't know if you can see it, guys. 4281. So this is going to go on the bottom. This is our top piece. So let's go ahead and install. And for the purposes of this video, I'm going to go ahead and install the bottom one first this time, just to show you. All right, so let me take this off really quick because I'm going to have to grab the camera. I want to show you guys the inside of this bushing, where the grease goes. All right, let me grab the camera here. Okay, so when you're putting this together, you press that bushing like we did over here, and then you look on the inside and you're going to see all that bushing grease kind of squeezed up in there. The same thing is going to happen from the top, and then it's all going to squeeze in there. There's going to be just a teeny tiny gap, and all that bushing grease is going to stay in there, and it's going to help to lubricate the inner sleeve. Even though we're lubricating the inner sleeve anyway on this inner side of the bushing, that's going to provide a little bit more extra. So as you can see, guys, that's how it's done. It's pretty easy. I wanted to show you just this here so you can see how it is. The outer race here of the original subframe assembly is what's going to provide your strength and durability for these bushings and for the flexing. The original bushing had an inner sleeve that went into here, and that's been removed. But yeah, as you can see, it's pretty easy to do, and coupled with the easy to follow instructions here from Energy Suspension, this job is actually not that bad. This job here, I think by the time I went ahead and, pulled all the parts out, as you can see, it was only like 10-15 minutes, and you have all these brand new bushings in here. Now, I will say that if you watched the previous video, getting the original bushings out was a royal pain in the ass. You're gonna need a Sawzall, you're gonna need chisels, and I would prefer a chisel with an air hammer if I was you, because it's gonna be a hell of a lot easier. So yeah, guys, this whole assembly, when we put this back into the 370Z and replace the original stock one that's in there right now, every other video I've ever seen on this project says it's a game changer. And honestly, I think it's gonna be. I've got urethane on some of my other cars, and it's like night and day. So I'm really excited to go ahead and get this installed. I will do another video here, guys, to show you what else I have for the 370Z. After I finish installing this bushing, I'm going to clean up a little bit here on the tops and kind of get rid of some of that residual bearing grease or bushing grease. If you do the collars, guys, the collars are real easy. It's a quick fix for temporary. So it doesn't require much. Like, you can literally lower the sub-assembly on the bolt, slide this on the bottom and the collars on the top, and then bolt it right back up. Whereas this takes a little bit more to do. I would prefer, if I was you and you want quality work done, to go ahead and remove the whole subframe assembly, or just buy a separate one like I did on eBay. You clean it, you treat it. Excuse me, guys. You clean it, you treat it, and then you could take your time. You have plenty of time to put everything back together the way you want. And yeah, I would just buy the second subframe assembly, guys. I bought mine for $300 online. You can find them from $200 to $400. I chose this one because it was from down south. There was no rust on it. Just a few little spots here and there. And what I did is I cleaned everything up, and then I used acrylic black paint to paint this, and it came out looking like better than brand new from the factory. Not to mention, it's going to be fantastic once I put everything back together on the bottom of the car. So guys, I hope you like this video. Make sure to smash that subscribe button. Jump on over to Instagram if you haven't, which you probably already did because that's how you found my YouTube. But if you happen to find my YouTube, jump over to the same name, StreetCulture.US on Instagram, and there's tons of other postings there. We have stories and all that jazz. And yeah, hope you like these videos. Leave your thoughts and comments. And if you don't have a 370Z, get one, because they are a bang for the buck, a hella awesome freaking purchase. This is George for StreetCulture.US saying dream it, build it, drive it, so that I can see you guys on the road.